International friendlies have been the absolute talk of the weekend in the world of footy, aka soccer. And Jonathan David of Canada scores twice from the penalty spot, but is he too good for Canadian soccer? We're going to talk all about it here on Point of View this week. My name is Bobby Munson. Yes, I am flying solo here today. I am all by myself. Yes, Andre is feeling a little bit down and out. He is away for this week, but hopefully will be joining me back on next week's episode here of Point of View. So make sure to stay tuned for more Andre action next weekend here with us. But I am going to do my best to navigate the show here by myself, give you all the talk in the world of sports, or at least the sports I'm a little bit more familiar with. So this is definitely going to be a very heavy footy episode tonight. And yes, as I mentioned, Jonathan David. Let's say his name multiple times, because if you are a Canadian like myself and you are rooting for Canada when it comes to the international side of things, then you got something to be excited about. Jonathan David did manage to score twice in the international friendly against Iceland just on Friday there. Very, very interesting game that we're going to talk heavily about right now. We have got Zach in the chat. Good morning, Zach. And Peggy's here. Yes, all by myself. You know the song. Yes. we won't go down that path too heavily, but yes, all by myself. I'm sorry I'm not there. I'm not all well at the moment. That's okay, Andre. You get yourself better, brother, and join me next week, and I will make the crew have to listen to me go on and on, ramble on and on about the footy. It won't necessarily be a long episode, but it'll be a fun episode nonetheless. Hopefully everybody wants to stick around and learn a little bit more. But we are in international friendly territory this week, so there is no English Premier League, anything of that sort's going on, but I will talk about some of the rumors going around Manchester about the purchase of players going into the summer season. But right now, when it comes to the international friendlies, like I said, Canada playing against Iceland, a team that we really should have shown up very well against. Canada's got a reasonably good team, and we should be able to go and do what we can to show up in these matchups. I know it's an international friendly, but we really got to make our mark because we've got the World Cup coming up this summer, and the Canadians need to show. We have never made it past the opening stages of the World Cup. The two times that Canada has played in the World Cup, never made it past the group stages. And I know that we would love to have a great showing, especially with the World Cup being played in North America this year, meaning the games will be held in Canada, US, and in Mexico. In fact, you can see two of Team Canada's group stage games taking place in Vancouver, British Columbia. So if you happen to be in the Vancouver area or don't mind traveling, you can get yourself tickets to go and support Team Canada at the international friendlies. But going back to the game against Iceland managed to really show up against Canada in this game. It was very tight, going up against us in this one, looking like they were going to be able to get the win. Yet here we go from the penalty spot twice. Jonathan David manages to score two penalties back to back, allowing this game to go to 2-2. We end up drawing with Iceland. But Jonathan David, again, the hero of Canada, saving the day for Canada, and he's done this time and time again. He is a striker that, given how good he is, if he was put on any team with the stronger support, and that's not to take away from the other Canadians on this team. There's a lot of great players on this team as well. But when it comes down to it, Jonathan David could play at the highest of levels with some of the absolute best, and putting him out there with an even stronger field of players, if that was a possibility when it comes to international, he'd be almost unstoppable. Canada definitely needs him going into the World Cup this coming summer. Andre saying in the 80s, Canada never scored. Yeah, we didn't. That was the one and only time that we were in the group stages. We didn't score a single goal. I don't even know. Like, we might have scored one or two in the last time. That was the last World Cup 4 years ago. We might have got a couple in that one. I can't remember, but still didn't make it past the group stages. One more sip of the coffee here. So I don't really know, but either way, it's going to be a very difficult fight because a lot of teams are doing very, very well for themselves going into this World Cup. We've got games going on as we speak right now. Actually, this morning already, Georgia and Lithuania went to a 2-0 victory for Georgia. Belarus currently taking on Armenia. That one sitting at 1-0 at the halftime. And yes, I am going to go and give you our updated scores. Let me know if you have any questions regarding international soccer in the chat. Mexico and Portugal yesterday played to a 0-0 draw. Watch me mess these names up. We had a game. It was Tunisia. I hope I got that right. Tunisia and Haiti. Tunisia getting the victory, 1-0 there. Surprisingly, Belgium walked all over the United States of America in a 5-2 victory yesterday. Hungary take on Slovenia. Hungary coming out victorious in that one, 1-0. Japan managing to get past Scotland in a 1-0 victory. Senegal managed to get a 2-0 victory over Peru. We had Faroe Islands taking a 2-1 victory over San Marino. The Ivory Coast smoked South Korea with a 4-0 victory. Madagascar took on, I apologize if I get this wrong. Kyrgyzstan. Please correct me, especially if you happen to be from there, what I got wrong there. Just going to go back to the chat here for a moment. Andre said, I only know that a friend of mine told a story about his dad writing the Team Canada official song, but it never getting played as they never scored or what. Yes, that is a big story of that too. It was written and ready to go, and because we didn't score, they didn't get to actually play it during that time, which was, a damn shame, really. It's a mess. But yeah, that was the scores from yesterday. Going over to Friday, we had Argentina. We're taking on, again, this is another tongue twister. Mauritania, please. I hope I said that right. Argentina picking up the victory 2-1 in that game. It was, I think this game has been postponed or something because there's no update on it, but it was Belize and Saint Martin did not end up going through. Guyana beat Dominica 2-0. Spain beat Serbia 3-0. Morocco tie in Ecuador 1-1. England and Uruguay, yes, that one limped to a 1-1 draw in that game as well too. We had a 2-1 win for the Netherlands over Norway. Germany and Switzerland. Wow, if you want to watch a game that was tooth and nail, Germany and Switzerland played to a 4-3 victory for the Germans. Algeria, if you want to watch a lot of goals, scored 7. That's right, 7 goals against Guatemala in a 7-0 victory. Paraguay beat France 1-0. We had another tie game. Costa Rica and Jordan played to a 2-2 game. Egypt managing to get past Saudi Arabia 4-0. Montenegro beating Andorra 2-0. Panama tying South Africa 1-1. Austria managing to stomp Ghana 5-1. Nigeria beat Iran 2-1. And Russia beat Nicaragua. Jeez, I'm bad at this, especially on a Sunday. That game ended in a of course, that one ended with Russia winning 3-1. That was the international friendlies that we had so far. Again, these games don't mean anything in terms of the actual World Cup itself. This has no bearing on who makes it into the World Cup. In fact, most spots in the World Cup have already been taken up. They have already been decided. World Cup 2026 coming up this summer, like I said, playing here in North America. So if you're interested in checking one out, there's nothing like a live footy game. I'm just going to actually bring up the World Cup matches here and see who we've got. We can talk about that for a while. So going into this World Cup, we have got a set number of matches already set to happen, starting on June 11th with Group A being the first to play. We will see games. Mexico is going to be taking on South Africa while still in that same group. South Korea is going to be taking on somebody who's yet to be determined because there is some slots still available through league, not league play, but through international play right now. There is still some spots yet to be decided in each of the groups. We know that Canada, of course, going to be there in Group B. Their first opponent on June the 12th, yet to be determined. It's still TBD on that one. Meanwhile, in Group D, the USA and Paraguay are going to be taking on each other in Group D starting on June 12th. June 13th, we'll see Group B play as Qatar taking on Switzerland, while over on Group C side, Brazil taking on Morocco, and then Haiti in Group C taking on Scotland that same day. Group D action that same day from Australia taking on yet to be determined. Still a TBD situation in that one there as well, too. Meanwhile, then on June the 14th, Germany are going to take on Curacao in Group E, the Netherlands to take on Japan in Group F. No more Group E action that day as Ivory Coast will take on Ecuador. We still have TBD taking on Tunisia that day, Group F action. Then on June 15th, it'll be Spain taking on Cape Verde, Group H action. We'll have Group G action on that same day from Belgium and Egypt. Also in Group H, Saudi Arabia going to be taking on Uruguay. Meanwhile, in Group G, we're going to have Iran taking on New Zealand. Shout out to my friends over in New Zealand. Then on June 6th, of course, France and Senegal from Group I. Also in Group I, Norway is going to be taking on another to-be-determined position in this tournament. Group J, Argentina and Algeria. And then more Group J action, Austria taking on Jordan. And then we've got, after that, from June 17th, Portugal taking on a to-be-determined team in Group K. Group L will see England and Croatia, which I would say is one of the stronger games going into the opening stages of the World Cup. These two teams have locked up near the finals of some of these tournaments before as well, too. Always a blast. Going to be one hell of a game. Ghana going to be taking on Panama in Group L action, and then Uzbekistan and Colombia going to take on each other from Group K action that same day on June the 17th. Meanwhile, on the 18th, we will see to be determined taking on South Africa, Switzerland taking on a to be determined team, Canada taking on Qatar, Mexico and South Korea. Then, of course, we can go on and on. There is so many games in the World Cup. The group stages, you play every team once. Points are then determined as usual as 3 points for a victory, 1 point for a draw, and the two top teams always go through to the knockout rounds of the tournament. So you want to be in the top two in order to make it through, but you want to be in the top one based on your seeding in the knockout stages. So what happens is when you make it to the next round, and first of all, I'm just going to go back to the chat. Good morning, Ambassador. Saying good morning, my man. Just thinking about how a week from now, I'll be nursing a Mario Galaxy PPW show hangover while celebrating some Easter. Hope you're doing well. Hey, man, I am doing fantastic. It is going to be a great weekend next weekend. PPW action. Of course, the Mario Galaxy movie coming out this week. Yeah, it's going to be a fun week, brother. I got to get some PPW QR code tickets out here today after the show. So I'm going to make sure to wrap up when I can and get back. And saw Draco and the Uzbeks. Yes, they will be there, Andre, for sure. So again, how it works is with the seating, you want to be best you can to get the top position in your group. And the reason why is because when you get to the next round of the tournament, you will be pinned up against whoever runs second place from their pool. So say if Group A plays against Group B in the second round, it'll be number one slot from Group A taking on the number two slot from Group B. So typically they consider it to be an easier round of the tournament for you if you place first place. So teams have that to fight for as well as their spot in the knockout stages to begin with. Who will come out victorious is questionable. There's a lot of great teams going into this, a lot of teams that can unexpectedly really make a difference in this tournament as well too. So I'm curious to know from you, the viewers, if you are a follower of international footy, let me know in the chat below what you think of your favorite team and their chances going in to the World Cup 2026. Now I know that there isn't regular league play going on, but there for the men's side of things, but there is on the women's side of things. In fact, yesterday in Derby action in the Women's Super League, it was the Manchester United women taking on the Manchester City women, and Manchester United ended up losing 3-0 to Manchester City. Manchester City on the lady side of things is in first place over there. Manchester United on that side still trying to qualify for European footy. They are currently sitting in fourth. The table as it stands for the top four teams in the Women's Super League right now. Manchester City running away with things on 49 points in first place. Chelsea was sitting on 40 in second place, and Arsenal with 2 games in hand, mind you, meaning that they could still pull in well into second place if they win those 2 games, are sitting on 38 points. Also on 38 points is Manchester United's women's team, but it's the goal differential between them and Arsenal that make all the difference. And Arsenal, with those 2 games in hand, really have a chance to make up some ground and pull themselves closer to the top of the table. However, it does look like it's going to be a complete runaway for Manchester City's women in this year's league, and probably going to end up taking the whole thing. But elsewhere for the Manchester United women, they have got themselves a big matchup coming up just this week. The Manchester United women are going to be at Old Trafford, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where the game is hailing from, but it is going to be quarterfinal leg. They started the quarterfinal leg of the Champions League. They lost on Wednesday 3-2. I believe that one was at Old Trafford. It was a 3-2 against Bayern Munich, and they're going to be playing the second leg this Wednesday, April the 1st, against Bayern Munich again, because it's on an aggregate. Right now, Bayern lead 3-2. Manchester United women not only need to win, they also need to win by enough of a margin in order to put themselves through to the semifinals of that tournament. So go United women. We want to see you pull this off. Take Bayern Munich out and head to the semifinals. Get your glory, ladies. That's what we want to see. But yes, that's what I've got in the world of that. As the world of Manchester United, in terms of the men's side of things, there's still a lot of rumors going around about the Manchester United men's team. Who are they going to purchase in the summer purchases? A lot of names have come up. Now back in question is one Cole Palmer from Chelsea. This rumor came up earlier in the year. A lot of people weren't sure what to think about it because Palmer, very much a player that Chelsea admires, Chelsea utilizes. But there's now this new rumor going around that Palmer is unsettled. Whether or not that's true, we're not sure. It could be because there's a good chance Chelsea will not make it into European football for next year. And Cole Palmer, being a top quality player, is going to want that opportunity. He's also said to be a big admirer of Manchester United. So if that is the case, he could have that desire to go. One more sip here. Now, the reason this becomes problematic, in my opinion, and probably in the eyes of a lot of people, is that we don't necessarily need Cole Palmer right now. And before you start throwing shade at me, hear me out. Cole Palmer plays as an attacking midfielder. The thing is that Manchester United right now, we are overloaded with people that can work that same position. And we have got one of the absolute best in the world at that position right now in Bruno Fernandes. We do not necessarily want to see Bruno Fernandes leave the club for any reason, so we don't want to replace him. Cole Palmer is a guy who's going to want to be playing regular football. So if he was to come to Manchester United, he's going to want to be out there consistently, and he's going to be technically fighting for a place in that position with Bruno Fernandes. Cole Palmer does not need to be a player that gets dropped back into the center of midfield. Neither does Bruno, for that matter. And the thing is other people can take up that mantle that we have available right now. Mateus Cunha is suited to taking up a spot as an attacking midfielder, along with Brian Mbeumo. We can also have Mason Mount there if he ever stops getting injured every time the wind blows and he picks up an injury for us. There is no less than 4 current first-team players at Manchester United capable of taking this spot, and we've already got the absolute best, one of the best in the world at that position. Now, I'm not saying Cole Palmer is a bad player, and I'm not saying that he wouldn't do wonders in that position for Manchester United, but we have other positions to worry about, and that is not one of them that we need to be keeping our eyes on at the moment. Manchester United seriously need to start looking at a left back, potential center backs, depending on how that situation goes, and of course, the midfield situation. And the midfield has been a big talk of the town right now, with a lot of names being brought up for Manchester United, including Newcastle's Tonali, who I think would be a dynamite signing for us, because Tonali is 25, so he's got enough of experience under his belt. He's doing very well for Newcastle in their midfield. In fact, one of the standout players in a team that has struggled all season long. Tonali he's a good sizable boy. He can maneuver quite well. He is the kind of center pin to player that we need to strengthen up what we've got there. Of course, we're losing Casemiro in the summertime. He is going to be going despite his resurgence of play lately for Manchester United. So Tonali would be a fantastic fit. Him and Kobe Mainu taking up the mantle in center midfield for Manchester United would be an absolute banger of a pairing. But we can't rely on just that because Emmanuel Ugarte, we know that he's at Manchester United. Manchester United not really looking to make much of Manuel Ugarte, and he just hasn't clicked in the Premier League. So I could see them trying to move on from him, possibly loaning him out, selling him this coming summer, and also looking for more. And a couple of the other names, Carlos Baleba has come back up again, and whether or not he would still go for the price that we originally were told he would be worth last summer, which was in around the £100 million mark. Yes, I'm not kidding you, £100 million for Carlos Baleba, young kid who had been unproven, had a great season the season before, but yet he has struggled for form this season, both internationally and for club as well too. So the purchase level for Carlos Baleba has gone down. Now, it could be one bad season, right? Like this kid showed a lot of promise. He could end up getting purchased by Manchester United, coming out, working with what we've got there and starting to shine once again and being the player that everybody thought he was. This is entirely a possibility, but at the same time, it is risky. Manchester United need definitely, we need to look to the future, but we also need to strengthen, especially with the idea of Champions League on the horizon. We need to make sure we have the best of the best. That's why Tonali is a great shout. Adam Wharton would be another great shout. Another player that, if we could snag an Adam Wharton over at Manchester United in that midfield would do wonders for the midfield there. And we need bench players too. That's the other thing. Everybody worries about the first team. We need to have backup. We need to be able to say if one of these players gets injured, if one of them is getting a little gassed after, playing multiple games back to back to back, we can't be going and looking at the youth, the 16, 17, 18-year-olds and going, well, that's all we've got, folks. Let's put them out there. And I'm not saying these kids we've got aren't good. They're just not ready yet, especially if it comes down to Champions League footy. We're going to have a lot more games next season. We're going to have to do a lot more work, and it's going to be interesting. Left back's another one. Alejandro Balde, who is a player I have admired for years, is one that's being scouted right now by Manchester United as a possibility for the left back position. I am not against this at all. I would love to see Balde take up the Manchester United jersey at left back next season. I think he would offer exactly what we need in that position. Hopefully, at least anyway. Again, not everybody's adaptable to the Premier League, but I think this young man would do wonders for us, and I think he'd be a great snag. Now, I'm not sure on the winger front, and I'll talk about that here in a second. On the winger front, there's a lot of names that are being said to be looked at. I don't think anything's exactly concrete in terms of a winger. And do we need it? That's the real question here. In terms of wingers, we've got Amad Diallo. Brian Mbeumo can play out in the wing. Mateus Cunha has been taking up the mantle at left wing. Even though he's not a natural left wing, he's been fit in the position decently anyway and still managed to be very effective from the spot. There's a lot of youth we could start to look at as well too, but are they ready? I don't exactly know. I think it's Shea Lacey is the name. He's another one that can be deployed out in the wing, can do wonders for us out there. So yeah, would a winger be nice? Certainly, but I don't think it's the crucial one, because especially if Patrick Dorgu, once he comes back, is ready to take up the left side and not play at left back, that's the other catch, right? If we get a solid left back and we can get Patrick Dorgu out on the left wing, the way Dorgu was playing before his injury situation, I think that we'd be in a prime position with that kind of squad, with Dorgu out on the left wing, backed up by Balde out in the left back position. The center backs, like I talked about, we have center backs, but Martinez, I mean, he's again and again getting injured for us, not really being able to be reliable. Maguire's there, but again, his age is becoming something that we need to be aware of over time. He's still there to be a great anchor, but we need to start looking at rebuilding. Mateus de Ligt, what has happened? The guy has been out for a long time with a back injury. Manchester United not looking to get him back in a rush. Up until the point where he went out injured, was probably our shining star of the season. He was looking phenomenal in the center back position, but then we've lost him for the entire season at this point, and it's been difficult to balance who needs to be out there in terms of our center backs. We have great youth center backs in both Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven, but the problem is that both Yoro and Heaven, while they're great and show a lot of promise, aren't quite ready to take up the mantle of center back together yet, especially with that many games next season, and some of them so important being the Champions League and everything like that. So it would be great to be able to start integrating Euro and Heaven with the likes of Harry Maguire to build up that confidence over time. But do we need to take a look at the center back position and offload some of the more injury prone players and bring in somebody that, brings some strength, brings some, reliability to the position, also some knowledge of the position, some great knowledge, and being able to also help with bringing up the young players like a Lenny Yoro or a Aiden Heaven in that position. Now, the right back position, I mean, this one becomes questionable because I'm not a big fan of Delo, but yet United seem to be rolling with Delo all the time. He has glimpses of being okay, but he really is, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of bench players, in terms of starting players, Delo is one of the few I would actually be confident putting out there in a Manchester United jersey. I don't think he's right for it. I would rather Mazraoui. We have Mazraoui there, and I think Mazraoui makes a better right back player than what Delo does. And yet Mazraoui is the one usually coming off of the bench, taking off that position. I really think that I'd rather see Mazraoui become the regular right back position for Manchester United, and I'd look to get rid of Delo. And I would look at either finding another right back, or I would start looking at the youth to find out who's going to fight for the position behind somebody like Mazraoui. Who is Mazraoui going to start training to become the next right back at Manchester United? Some people tend to forget, too, in the left back position, Diego Leon was a player that we bought over the summertime, good youth player. Again, he's not ready to be a starter for Manchester United, but this is a kid that they should be getting in there with the training, possibly getting ready for that kind of position, maybe preparing him. Because if we saw something in him enough to purchase him to the team, we got to be looking to the future and saying, well, we bought him. This is somebody that we need to look at as a potential for a starting position in the future. So let's get the experienced players to start showing this kid exactly what it takes to be a starting player for Manchester United. So I ask you, the audience, whether you're watching on replay or watching live, if you follow Manchester United, what are your thoughts? Who do you think that Manchester United should bring to the team this summer to strengthen up that squad? Now, getting away from the world of footy, I'm going to talk about the other sports here real quick with you all. Let me know if you have any news in there. But yes, going over to the Toronto Blue Jays in the Major League Baseball, because we have started the season officially. The Toronto Blue Jays putting out Dylan Cease, new to in a Blue Jays jersey, went out there the other night and 12 strikeouts against the Athletics as the Blue Jays win 8-7. The Jays are off to a kick-ass start here at the very start of the MLB season, looking to maybe do some damage and hopefully for themselves get them all the way to that final again, maybe even winning the pennant this time around. The Blue Jays, again, it's just the start of the season. Nothing to get too excited about, but looking very good as things start off. But yeah, that's all I've really got for you guys in the world of sports this week, especially flying solo like this. If anybody has any questions, feel free to run them. But right at this time, I'm going to do a little bit of talking about what's coming up over the next week in terms of what's available here on the channel, what we got coming up here on the various shows. So just give me one sec. So, of course, as always, for my shows, this Thursday night, you'll want to join myself and Papa Smokes because we're going to be doing our Prairie Pro Wrestling preview special. Yes, Prairie Pro Wrestling Presents Resurrection is coming up this Saturday, April the 4th, live in Saskatoon at the Cosmos Senior Center. And, of course, we love to do a preview show talking all things Prairie Pro Wrestling, what's coming up, what to expect, what we think might happen with the current storylines in Prairie Pro Wrestling. But we don't always just do this alone. It's not just myself and Papa Smokes all the time. So this time, we're bringing a guest. Just like last time, we had Jacob Creed, the Crazed Cowboy, on the show. This time, we're bringing PPW Academy graduate Chris Soup Nasty. Yes, Soup is joining us for his very first wrestling interview right here on Ring Respect Radio. You can catch that Thursday night at 9:05 p.m. Eastern time. So if you have any questions about Soup Nasty, about his very short-lived run in BPW so far, because he is brand new, he's had only 3 singles matches since debuting in Prairie Pro Wrestling, but he has got 2 very important victories back-to-back. One against Morris Waltz that you can now catch over at the Prairie Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, just dropped this Saturday. And his other win at our last show, the other set of tapings, where he pinned to the mat 1, 2, 3, that sack of crap, the Mexican Devil, El Asesino. And what was a moment, even though I'm trying not to crack a smile when I'm there live, I couldn't hold back the smiles when I saw El Asesino got pinned by Soup Nasty on that night. It made my heart grow 2 sizes that day. It was a wonderful sight to see nonetheless. But of course, yes, next Sunday, we are also going to have Andre back here. Hopefully, I'm hopefully, brother, get better soon so you can join me back here. It's going to be fun. But of course, next Saturday being a long weekend. Yes, Easter Saturday. Oh my goodness. Good Friday, Easter Sunday. Everybody's going to be spending a little bit of time with their families, but we will do our best to entertain you here on a Sunday, talking about the world of sports. And of course, you won't have to just listen to me ramble about footy. If Andre's here, you're going to probably hear more about F1. We'll talk some NFL, maybe some NHL. You know, I always need my cohort, my partner in crime, in order to be able to give you the true details when it comes to the world of sports. So again, Andre, get better, my friend, and I can't wait to have you back next week here on the show. But I'm not going to keep you all here all day. It's a Sunday. I want you to go have some fun, enjoy watching some sports, be with your families, have a good time. I've been Bobby Munson. Down below is my ticker. You can find me on the X at Real Bobby Munson, Instagram and Threads at Video Bros SK, Twitch Video Bro _ Bobby Munson, and Blue Sky it's BobbyMunson.bsky.social. And yes, I mentioned all the things I got coming up, but as always, I'll be at PPW next Saturday, but you can catch PPW every Saturday on YouTube. So if you're unable to join us live, we bring you a brand new match every Saturday from our vaults. Check that out. It's going to be great. You can find a lot of great stuff right here on OLE Podcast, from wrestling reviews to interviews to the history of pro wrestling, sports, pop culture, and more. In fact, Astrid and I just dropped yesterday our review of the movie Ready or Not, Here I Come. Go check that out. It is now available over on YouTube. And yes, check out OLE on all social media, as well as YouTube and Twitch, where we are actually partners. Twitch partner, YouTube partner. You can give us super chats, super stickers. You can follow, you can sub, you can do all those wonderful things that help to do great things here for OLE. But one thing you can do, and this one doesn't cost you a dime, not at all. It just takes you a tiny little bit of time. If you're watching on replay with any shows here on OLE Podcast, after they've been processed 24 hours, like this is the live stream right now, so you can't do it yet. But if you come back to OLE tomorrow and check out Point of View, and you like what I did here for the last 30 plus minutes, you can go and give us hype points. Yes, if you have a mobile phone and a YouTube account, that's a Google account. I'm looking at all you. You have at least one Gmail account, and in some cases, multiple Gmail accounts. You can log on in to the YouTube app, go to the show, find it. All you have to do is scroll right across the side, all those areas that say thumbs up, share, notification bell. What you want is the one that says hype points. Hype points. You get up to 3 per week that you can give out, and they help small creators just like myself and everybody here at OLE Podcast. With those hype points, the more we get, the higher up the hype chart we go. And the higher up that hype chart we go, the more eyes that are going to check out the show as well, too, so that we can have nice, lively, active crowds here each and every time that we go live on OLE Podcast. And you know we love to do it. We know we love each and every one of you, and we love the support that you provide us here. Thank you for tuning in to my solo show this Sunday, and we hope to see you back next Sunday with a full roster on deck. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you in a week's time.